Hello, and thanks for joining me for another week with Mirree's Dreamtime messages. I hope you all had a wonderful week last week and enjoyed the animals that we pulled out for last week, because we had some pretty good animals like the dragonfly, and we also had the dolphin, which we haven't had in a long time, and the other animal that we pulled out was with the blue wren. And so I hope you were able to do some action steps to do with the animals which were guiding us last week, with the blue wren letting us know that we were loved, and that when we listen to the inner sounds and calls of nature, it naturally guides us to align to the high vibrations of love within nature. And it was also about letting go of any anger or doubt that is not serving us. And the other card that we pulled out was with the ancestral dragonfly, letting us know that we're awakening, and that when we step outside of our limits, the opportunities for expansion and growth are limitless, and that leads us to the awakening of our gifts deep within. And also it was also letting us bring to light any negative patterns that were playing out in the background of our life that maybe we're not so aware of. And the other card that we pulled out was with the dolphin, I am aware, letting us know that we have such a deep connection to nature, and it's reminding us to open up ourselves to the healing life force of creation and learning more about nature and the universe last week. So did you find out more about the animals and the universe last week? Did you find out anything new? I would love to hear about any feedback in the comments, and I always love hearing the feedback that you guys have. And I really appreciate all my new subscribers and all my returning subscribers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to encourage everyone to like, share and subscribe to my channel, as this helps me to grow even further and keep letting other people know and in hearing about me through the grapevine. And so the week is the last week of January now, and then we're going to be approaching February already, and gee, I can't wait. I can't believe how quickly this year has been going by. And so recently I shared a video which actually I'm not sure if I shared it here on the YouTube, but I'll share it. It was just about sharing my studio and where I'm up to at the moment in my studio, as I was just got out of this week doing such a deep clean on my studio, which I've been dying to do for such a long time, like probably at least 5 years, I'd say. And so I finally got it all thoroughly organized and cleaned up, and so which made me very, very happy, and so that I can hit the ground running for this year. And so I'll share that video for you guys to have a look at my messy studio, but it's not like that now. It's absolutely a dream to be in. And the week is going to be starting the 26th of January and running until the 1st of February. So we're going to be having our first day of the second month of the year, and the Tuesday, the 2nd of February is going to be a full moon, but that's not next week, it'll be the following week. But on Monday, I know it's a public holiday for everyone in Australia, yay! And so that is the actual first quarter moon. And so the first quarter moon tells us about spending some time to do some deep listening to the dwellings of our inner soul and calling back ourselves. And it's a first quarter moon that signifies decision making, and so it's the perfect time to do some journaling or quiet contemplation or meditation if you like to do it. in relation to making like important decisions during this time. There may be actually some so for Monday there may be some really important decisions to make, and so Monday is going to be the perfect time to make those important decisions because of the first quarter moon. And for the rest of the week we're going to be in a waxing gibbous moon, which lasts for a little bit over 6 days, and it's the perfect time to process any new or big decisions that you recently made in the first quarter moon, which was on a Monday. And it's also a great time for cleansing and purification rituals and continuing to concentrate and redefine the roadmap to your dreams. And so it's going to be a time for clarification during the week. And as I said, it's a perfect time for meditation, quiet contemplation, and also meditation, which I think I already said that. But I'm still in the process of writing out these top 5 or 10 ways that you can raise your vibration. So stay tuned for that one. And I'm going to be also listing a new competition coming up soon. And so because now that I've got my studio all nice and clean, I'm going to be hitting the ground running. And so now that I have the studio set up exactly the way I want, so that I can make the most efficient works and new works, and I have some new videos coming out this week that you guys are gonna love, to do with how can you actually find your life purpose. How can you actually know what it is that is your calling? And it takes an immense amount of courage to follow that calling. And so there's some interesting topics that we're going to be talking about this week, and so which I think is really important. Also another new story time coming up. And also I'm going to be sharing the experience to do with the we also talked about, there's a couple of videos that I'm going to be also uploading to do with my studio, of course, like I said, and also to do with how art is actually seen as a medicine. And if I haven't already uploaded those videos, then I'll leave a link in the description box that you can check out, which is maybe on my Facebook page, or maybe I've already uploaded them to YouTube. I'm not quite sure. So stay tuned for all those videos coming up, which you're gonna love, and also the beginning of my new painting, which is yet to come also, which is pretty exciting. And there's Valentine's coming up, and so there's some really great artworks that I want you guys to check out, which is to do with the Crimson Rosellas, which I probably featured last week as well. This is the Crimson Rosella growing. It's actually a really great story to do with self-love, and also which is the foundation to any kind of love that we want to have in our life. And it's got some really great colors in this one, which you can see those tones of blue and green in there. And so go check that one out in my online store. The other one is the Pink Galahs, which is about growing. This one is a like I think I featured the Black Cockatoo story just last week, is the new series of Tree of Life series. This one is actually a part of that new series, a Tree of Life series, and so this one has a really great story about growing as well, which you might want to check out. I'll leave the link in the description box. So let's have a look and see the 3 cards that are going to be coming up this week, and make sure you grab yourself a Dreamtime card deck as well if you haven't already, because it's got the 100-page booklet in there that you can follow along every week to the Dreamtime messages. And so let's have a look and see the first card that we're going to be drawing out this week. which was going to help us to create the start of our week, and so that we can see what we're going to be concentrating on this week. We're going to see what's coming up, and so the first card, we've been getting this card a lot to do with the humpback whale. I am searching. When I focus on the direction I want to take myself, I can find all the pieces of my soul I've been yearning for. That makes me courageous. All the pieces of our soul can come together when we have a clear and focused direction in where we want to lead ourselves. What is the new project that you're going to be starting? What is the new path that you want to be taking? Is there a trip that you want to go on? Or maybe you have been thinking about doing something for a long time. You know, this is about just really searching for that direction that we want to take ourselves. And the video to do with that I'm going to feature this week, which will either be put out this week or next week, is really helping us to find that sense of calling. And you know, this calling has the ability to lift us from the depths of any kind of darkness that we're experiencing. And you know, so God shares that with us as well, how, and through the animals in nature, how we can when we listen to our call and we have the courage to step forward with that call, that we can be lifted from any darkness that is that we've been kind of maybe procrastinating in, or maybe we've been been feeling like a lot of grief or some kind of heartbreak, or you know, whatever that darkness or loneliness is. We have the ability to be lifted from that space. And so there's many habits that we can take on without any consideration and realization of the consequences that we are faced with, until we're faced with an unpleasant one. And so yeah, this is what I was talking about. So yeah, it allows us to examine the depths of our souls and what qualities make up our very essence. And this can be pretty confronting to understand this more, but it's highly beneficial as it makes a solid connection to the heart of ourselves. And that the heart of ourselves is the driving force to where we want to be taking ourselves, and having the trust and the faith in where it will lead us. And so you might want to start a journal to begin tracking your soul's journey this week, so that you can understand the inner qualities that make up you. That is an important self-realization exercise that will bring to light many opportunities for yourself, for your growth, and also bringing in more harmony and success of self. You may be feeling out of whack or disharmony, or you may be feeling oblivious to what's happening in your life, or maybe you feel indifferent. And so the humpback whale reminds us that we can bring back harmony into our lives, we can bring self-realization to ourselves, and we can have a successful life, or have a success out of anything that's troubling us, or that we're searching for the meaning and direction, which is humpback whales use echolocation in order to map out a path of where they're going. And so that's basically what we are at a point where we're needing to do now, or if we haven't done so already, because when we don't have the intentions, the clear intentions and the clear focus and goals, what we want to achieve, that leaves a lot more room for a lot of other people to come in and influence us in not very nice ways. And so that's why having clear intentions and goals of our direction is really important for us at this time. And the other card that we pulled out is with the butterfly. I am balancing. When life gets too much, I know I can easily organize my week at the end of the day to enable myself to feel balanced and in harmony with my own rhythm. And so butterfly is the 24 card, which you can find on page 61. And so ancestral butterfly is helps us to concentrate on our very own dance of life, and so it represents the movements through the everything that makes us happy and resolves around that thing that makes us happy. And so, do you know what that is yet? Or maybe you're still searching for that with the humpback whale. So it represents a movement and balancing act between the different stages of our life through work, fun, spiritual life, cultural life, and so much more. And so it's time to coming, it's a time, there may be a time coming to enable you to replace yourself, to release yourself from a painful experience from the past that has made you feel stuck. Butterfly will offer you its wings for protection, so be ready to find your emotional release this week so that you can be filled up with the dance of life again. And so yeah, sometimes painful experiences can make us feel held in trauma and held in really deep dark places within ourselves that, you know, we can lift ourselves from. That's what butterfly reminds us of, that we can lift ourselves from these places, and we don't have to keep you know, everybody has deep dark places within themselves. It's not just me, it's everybody. And so yeah, it's like about understanding what, you know, if there could be something that's holding us back from this direction, or finding you know, our true selves out that is going to lift ourselves from this place. And you know, and the way, you know, that is the way. It shows us the way when we know that very thing that does lift us from these places. The action step this week to do with ancestral butterfly: take your time to heal any wounds from the past with the spirit of ancestral butterfly. Butterfly gives you the protection you need when there's a time of emotional release. Slow down enough in order to understand this emotional release. Is it connected to a past relationship, a family member, or someone that caused you some grief, pain, or some great pain or some grief? Allow the healing and the transformation and growth to come through this week so that you can find your emotional and spiritual release. Butterflies symbolize releasing fear and confusion, transformation, love that heals, messages from a loved one, warmth and joy of summer and cycles of life, and healing from abuse. Wow, we got some deep, having some deep messages come through this week, which is really great. Nothing to be ashamed of, and it's nothing to feel bad about. You know, it's only natural, because when these emotions arise to the surface, as we all feel them, and that's what connects us in the whole scheme of things, is that we, it's not about what we have that's indifference to us, but what we have in common. And so I'm really looking forward to see which the third card that we're going to be drawing this week. That's basically going to be our solution card. Whoa, gosh. So if this isn't clear enough for you this time to do with the, you know, humpback whale, because we've gotten it so many times, then I don't know what is. So what this is actually saying this week for us is that being able to find this part of ourselves to do with the direction and to do with the darkness that's within, you know, in order to be able to release that, you know, that's going to advance ourselves in some way or another. And so that is what the messages are telling, from Spirit are telling us this week, from the Dreamtime. I am advancing when I listen to the deepest part of my heart and soul, and confident the decisions I make will ultimately lead to my life purpose. And so yeah, this is pretty awesome. I was kind of picking this up beforehand. I never know what cards that and animals that we're going to get for the week. And you know, and so one of my, I know that I've had planned a painting that I had kind of planned for from December, which I'm going to do, but it's actually a bigger one. But the first painting I'm going to do for 2024, 25, 26. Gosh, I was doing an interview before, a video interview before today that was from 2024, so that's why I have 2024 in my mind. It's not that I'm behind, guys, so don't worry, because it's 2026. I was wondering why that happened, but yeah. So going back to what I was talking about, so actually my first painting that I will be painting for this year is the dingo, and so now I know why there's such an emphasis on the dingo. And so because it's showing us about, you know, being able to align ourselves with any new or beginnings or endings, and you know, this is like, you know, being able to propel ourselves forward as well. And this gives us a confirmation as well that we're advancing during this time, when we are able to listen to those deep parts within ourselves. Like I was saying to you before, like dingo is 21, but we can find it on page 55. You know, I'm really excited about these messages that we got this week, and you know, they're coming through so clear. And so I'm really excited to get this card, as it's such a huge confirmation for us all and in our journey of life. And so the dingoes let us know it's a time to begin or end something. From the beginning or ending, you will find the missing piece of yourself. And so yeah, like, you know, you might be able to expect a breakthrough this week, or some kind of insight or realization to do with yourself, and to do with maybe something that's been holding you back for so long. You know, a number of these things. And so you're at a crossroads in your life. You're either beginning a certain chapter or you're leaving one behind. Choose wisely, but remember to use your instincts, like the dingo, to come to a conclusion about the best way to go. So the action step to do with dingo is have trust in your personal guidance system by having more faith in your instincts to show you the way that you can make, so that you can make spiritual progress. It's really important to listen to any hunches that you get this week, any nudges, any feelings, any kind of pushes, you know, any kind of feelings like that you might be getting that's really rushing up to the surface. You know, you really need to be listening to at this time. And so you could be feeling blocked, inactive, or you disbelieve this part of yourself maybe. Dingo is helping you to have this new beginning or ending, and to make you realize that you're making spiritual progress when you can do this, and that you're developing yourself even more, and you know, as a success of self. And so you know, which is the actual ultimate that we can be brought to during this time, is having that success of self within ourselves, within the goals that we want to be reaching. And so these are the three cards. How awesome is that? We got the humpback whales letting us know that we're searching for our direction, we're searching for our meaning of life, we're searching for the pieces of our soul that we've been yearning for so long. And the other card that we drew out was with I am balancing with ancestral butterfly, letting us know that, you know, you can balance yourself and be in harmony with your own rhythm. When we realize that, you know, there may be an emotional or spiritual release on the horizon, or maybe that's happening right now to you, or maybe that soon will be happening. And you know, that's leading us to making some great changes, and being able to self-develop and advance ourselves through the dingo, which is showing us that when we listen to these deep parts of our soul, that we're confident that the decisions that you make will lead to your life purpose. And your life purpose is not like a job. It's not like a job, for example, like, you know, I can say my job is an artist, and that's my job, and that's my purpose, and all that. And it's like, no one's going to believe you. It's not about what other people say and what other people think. It's about, you know, is about you're aligning to the deepest parts of your soul, which are connected to being an artist, which is connected to sharing your work with others and your messages with others. And so not sure if you're understanding, but you know, the difference between the outside world and your inside world is really, really different. And so a lot of people will put labels on things, and so, but really it's a lot more fluid. It's not just a fixed job role that you do. It's multifaceted, and so, you know, it's important to understand that and keep your mind open this week to any advances that you're making within yourself. And if you want to align more to these changes, you know, I would highly recommend journaling, meditating, or quiet contemplating, and getting out in nature as well, as much as you possibly can. You know, you may not get out as much as I do. I go out in nature 3 times at least a week, which I love, absolutely love, because that helps me to tune into the hidden messages and tune into the messages to do with my paintings that I then share with you guys. And so that's why I say that it's not a fixed job. You know, there's so many things that I do that make up my job, that make up my purpose, that make up my calling. And so yeah, it's just really important to just keep your mind open this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week this week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I want to hear from you, and so I'll see you guys next week.